We should change the law.
Right? Tonight at 5, a preview of News 3 Now's one-on-one with Madison's mayor amid criticism of the city's argument in the uncounted ballots case.
Locals weigh in on the safety of an intersection where a Madison teen was hit by a car and killed.
Plus, a Madison teacher charged with child sex crimes. The new information revealed in court documents today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
And good evening. Thanks for staying with us. We have new details about a case against a former Sun Prairie West High School employee.
The school's former dean, Robert Gilkey Messigeyer, pleaded guilty in federal court to producing child sexual abuse material.
Gilkey Messigeyer faces a minimum of 15 years in prison, a maximum of 30. Now, as part of the plea, he admitted to messaging a female student about arranging a, quote, clandestine meeting at the school and admitted to asking for and receiving nude photos. His sentencing will be in April, but the story doesn't end there. And Gilkey Messigeyer also has a case in Dane County where he is charged with 15 child sex crimes.
The operator of more than 100 Burger King franchises in Wisconsin is being ordered to pay over $1 million in penalties for alleged child labor violations.
The allegations against Cave Enterprises come after a year-long investigation involving more than 600 children ages 14 and 15. Maren Rosen has the details. Maren?
Well, Eric and Susan, Governor Tony Evers is calling this the largest determination of child labor and wage payment violations in modern state history. The Department of Workforce Development told me that over a 5-year period, 33 complaints were filed against various Burger King locations owned by Cave Enterprises. Further investigation found more than 1,600 child labor violations over a 2-year period. Violations include hundreds of cases where minors worked 6 hours or more without a required meal break, and nearly 600 cases where children worked without a proper labor permit.
We know that youth are a very important part of our workforce, but first and foremost, they're kids, and they also are going to school and they have extracurricular activities. And as much as we love that they want to enter into the workforce and learn and expand their capabilities and, grow as a potential new worker to Wisconsin, we want to make sure that they have those protections.
State officials say the company now owes more than $1 million in penalties and back pay to minor employees. And if payment is not made within 20 days, the case will be referred to the Wisconsin Department of Justice. I'll have more on this story later on News 3 Now at 10. Susan and Eric?
All right, Maren, thank you.
We will see you at 10. A sunny but breezy Friday, big weekend of winter carnivals this weekend in Madison. Blaze is here as we look forward to the weekend.
That's right. We made it through the first week of February. We started off the weekend on the warmer side, and it will get warm again. But we are back into the 20s on Saturday. High pressure moving on in, clearing out the clouds from this morning. Just a few lingering there on our Edgewater sky cam. It is 32 degrees out in Dodgeville, but winds out of the north, making it feel like it is 23. Northerly winds have taken on over and really cooled us down from our afternoon highs, flirting with the 40s, some of us even getting into the 40s this afternoon. It does feel like or I shouldn't say it feels, we are below freezing. Dells, Viroqua, Camp Douglas, La Crosse, Watoma, we're at freezing. Watertown, Madison, we're down from the upper 30s to low 40s. And with those northerly winds, it does feel like all of us are below freezing. Feels like it's 14 in Watoma at this hour. So with the upcoming weekend, what can we expect and beyond? Well, let's take a look at what we're tracking over the next 10 days. Precip chances are pretty minimal, and temperatures are staying seasonal to above average 40s. They return on Monday, but how long do they stick around for? We will take a look and track it out coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Blaze, thank you. A Madison teacher is officially charged now with child sex crimes. 58-year-old David Fawcett charged with 4 felonies. It stems from a case out of Texas. The Dane County District Attorney's Office charged Fawcett with 3 counts of possessing child sexual abuse materials and 1 for child sexual exploitation. Court documents allege he began messaging a 15-year-old girl from Texas last June using Snapchat. He requested nude images of the teen and sent ones of himself to her. Texas officials found out about the messages through a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
News 3 Now received confirmation from the Madison School District that Fawcett is an employee at Nuestro Mundo. He's listed as a teacher at the city's bilingual school. District officials tell us he is currently on administrative leave. The court gave Fawcett a $2,000 bond, $500 per case, and he is not allowed to have contact with a minor without adult supervision. He's scheduled to be back in court at the end of next month.
Now to the deadly pedestrian crash in Madison that killed a Madison West High School student yesterday, calling into question the safety in that area.
Madison police say a 17-year-old was waiting for a bus when a car hit them. Neighbors are saying there is a lot of reckless driving on South Park Street.
Our Tanisha Shaw visited the growing memorial today.
I've seen plenty of people blow red lights here on Park Street.
Laura Roberts drives on South Park Street often. She says people driving near the intersection of Burr Oak and South Park Street are aggressive.
Even though there is a lighted crossing, a lot of people just don't stop. They're unaware of it. They're too distracted. There's a lack of patience.
This is the same intersection where 17-year-old Alexander Rosen, who goes by Sasha, was hit by a car Thursday morning. Alexander was waiting on this bus stop on the way to school.
That particular intersection, even though there is a lighted crossing, a lot of people just don't stop. They're unaware of it.
And on Friday, there are growing memorials to remember Alexander here on South Park Street.
I'm sure a lot of people, young people, saw that, and it was probably very traumatic for them.
Since 2023, there have been 5 crashes at the intersection of Burr Oak and South Park Street, including the pedestrian crash Thursday, according to the Madison Police Department. Out of the 5 crashes, 4 of them were vehicle versus vehicle. Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Tanisha. And we will have more about the crash, also a response from Madison Police tonight at 6.
And News 3 Now will continue to follow the story online and over the air. You can receive notifications directly to your phone with our free Channel 3000 mobile app.
No one is hurt after a car drove through a garage on Madison's west side. A spokesperson with the Madison Fire Department says a report of a crash came in just before 6:30 last night. Crews responded to an apartment on Old Sauk Road. The car damaged the apartment's garage enough that crews were concerned about the safety of the building and its stability. They called a special team to the scene to put in temporary structural supports and then removed the car. Eventually, crews realized the supports were not necessary and took them down.
Now to a recall alert. More than 6,000 bags of M&Ms are being recalled across 20 states. That does include Wisconsin. The FDA says the bags may contain undeclared allergens. The recalled products include select bags of peanut M&Ms and regular M&Ms sold with a wide range of promotional labels. Anyone with milk, soy, or peanut allergies should not eat them. People without allergies, they say, are safe to do so.
Now to the ongoing uncounted ballots battle in Madison. In 2024, nearly 200 absentee ballots went uncounted by the Madison Clerk's Office. Law Forward is representing multiple voters in a lawsuit asking for compensation from the city. Seeking to have the suit tossed out, the city's legal argument is that the right to vote by absentee ballot is a privilege, not a right. And that prompted swift criticism from the governor and the Wisconsin Elections Commission. On the next For the Record, political reporter Ellie LaLiberte presses Madison's mayor about that argument.
Personally, I think that every form of voting is a right and that every ballot should be counted regardless of how it's cast. What I think, though, people have a problem with is not us or this lawsuit, it's with the state law. So if the state law is suggesting that absentee ballots are not as protected as other ballots, then we should change the law.
You can watch Ellie's full interview with Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway and a roundup of this week's political news this Sunday morning at 10:30 on For the Record.
Developers are looking to expand upon a 133-acre property in Sun Prairie.
Our Maya Tate has more on what could happen. Maya?
Eric and Susan, a local developer, T-Wall Enterprises, is looking to create the Derby District, a quote Hilldale-style mall on one side of the site, and plans for apartments, senior living facilities, as well as sports fields, a pool, a dog park, and a religious facility on another site. The designs are set on a property bordered by Windsor Street, St. Albert the Great Drive, and Highway 19 in Sun Prairie, where office buildings currently exist. In a statement from Sun Prairie Planning Director Josh Clements, he says that he has heard a lot of diverse responses from people in the community about their feelings toward the proposal. The current lot sits in the middle of several neighborhoods. Clement also says, quote, the city and region are in a housing crisis, and the proposal would include a meaningful number of new homes. The current proposal of 993 homes is about 20% of what the city projects demand to be over the next 10 years. Clements continued saying that he expects the Plan Commission to need to hear more about how the developer plans to resolve current conflicts with the city's plans and policies. The Sun Prairie Plan Commission will meet on February 10th at 7 p.m. to continue the discussion.
All right, Maya, thank you. And still to come at 5, Madison's public market. It isn't open yet, but it's already receiving recognition.
Why a national council is honoring the market's facility and when you'll be able to stop by and check it out.
And as Susan said, a lot going on this weekend, and Blaze will be back to tell us what we can expect weather-wise while you're out on the town.
Later on News 3 Now at 5, why the American Heart Association is encouraging everyone to wear red today.
And it was a rough week until today. The Dow ending with a record high close above the 50,000 mark for the first time ever, adding a whopping 1,207 points. The Nasdaq surges more than 490, S&P up 134, and we'll be right back.
Moving forward.
We're back with more local news. Madison's unfinished public market is already receiving global recognition.
Now, the facility achieved LEED Gold certification from the U.S. Green Building Council. LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. Some of the elements of the market's facility that were highlighted include energy-efficient windows that provide natural light, reduced air infiltration, high-performance LED lighting, and energy-efficient appliances. The market is set to open in March on North 1st Street.
Right now, Dane County is considering allowing some vehicles on our frozen lakes. County leaders want to hear from you about it. A proposed amendment would allow registered recreational vehicles, things like ATVs, UTVs, or off-highway motorcycles and snowmobiles on the ice. It would remove weight restrictions and flotation safety protocols for those vehicles as well. Life jackets would be required when operating or riding in vehicles on frozen waters. A meeting on these proposed changes will be held March 4th, 5:30 to 6:30 at the Lyman Anderson Agriculture and Conservation Center.
And now to some current festivities underway on the frozen lake. The Winter Carnival is back.
Did you love this? Is time lapse of Lady Liberty going up on Lake Mendota. She went up earlier today. The weekend will bring more than 30 events hosted by the Wisconsin Union. Of course, the big question, will the weather cooperate? And Blaze Keller joins us now with the answer. Blaze?
It will. You know, high pressure's moving in right now. That's going to cool us down for Saturday, but keep weather conditions quiet as well. Winds are going to die down and actually turn back out of the south as we go into Saturday. So kind of the perfect timing. Also, what has really helped get this ice as thick as it is, the prolonged cold that we just got out of. So we can thank the colder second half to January, this high pressure system moving on in for a pleasant, I guess, Saturday to enjoy all that the Lake Mendota has to offer tomorrow. We'll be back into the 20s, but it is short-lived. 30s return on Sunday, and then we're back into the 40s by Monday. Some of us were already there today. Lone Rock, Platteville, Prairie du Chien, to name a few, Monroe. We were in those 40s. Watertown, I don't know what happened to us, but we got into the 80s. While we were at 38 in Madison, we just had to go a little bit to our east, and it would have felt like summer. 36 in Watoma. Doesn't feel like it, though. Northerly winds have been cooling us down, and we're starting to see the blue make its way further south. That's cooler air compared to the last 24 hours, starting to move its way out of Canada overhead. Because we're going to go from the 30s and 40s today to the low to mid 20s tomorrow, thanks to our latest Canadian high pressure system. But again, it is going to keep us quiet on Saturday. It makes its way south as we go into your Sunday. Winds turn back out of the south, and that means that we're back into more or less the low to mid 30s on Sunday. Our next low pressure system coming in out of the Dakotas with southwesterly winds out ahead of it. We're back into the 40s, and we're going to stay there for Tuesday as well. Likely not going to get any precipitation out of this. If we do, it is going to be light and a rain-snow mix. But over the next 7 to 10 days, it looks like we'll have to wait until maybe Wednesday into Thursday to get any sort of rain or snow. Speaking of rain or snow, it's going to be a wintry mix if we do get any precipitation over the next 7 to 10 days because our temperatures are going to stay above freezing. Low to mid 30s even after we cool down out of those 40s Monday and Tuesday. Not only are temperatures going to be above freezing, but they're also going to be above our normal high temperature for this time of year, pretty much from tomorrow through the rest of our extended forecast. Not tomorrow, excuse me, Sunday. Watch this yellow line. It's been steadily climbing over the last 2 weeks from when we didn't even get above zero there back on the 24th with a high temperature of 3 degrees below zero all the way over the last 2 weeks and beyond. We are far been steadily climbing in terms of our high temperatures compared to normal. And starting on Sunday, we get into that red, and that's where we are going to stay as we go from Sunday through the rest of our extended forecast. Does the warm stick around even beyond that? Yes, we are looking at over the next 2 weeks, the warmer than average temperature trend to continue with about a 60 to 70% confidence level. This map, again, the darker the color means the higher the confidence level. So if you really want that warm air to stick around, you want the darker red. It could be a little bit darker, but we are looking at least a 50 to 60% chance. Again, I don't think that we're going to be doing what we did in January, starting off warm and then flipping the script and becoming cooler than average to end February. I think what's going to happen is pretty much from, I would say, next week onward, we are going to be staying warmer than average. Is that by a degree, by several degrees? We'll just have to take it day by day. But there is a look at our 7 and 10 day forecast. The only really cold day, Saturday, and then 30s and 40s. So we're going to be doing a lot of melting over the next 7 to 10 days. If you want to get out on the ice, if you want to enjoy the snow, I would do it sooner rather than later. The ice with those overnight lows in the 20s, well, it'll stay kind of okay, but daytime highs in the 30s and 40s, I just don't want to chance it, you know?
Right.
I don't want
Be
like
safe.
a pocket. Yeah. So get out there tomorrow. It's going to be cold. And then just use caution next week.
It's perfect timing for the carnival.
I know, I can't wait. Yeah. I'm excited.
Thank you, Blaze.
Well, the first round of nominating for this year's Madison Magazine Best of Madison is now underway. Through the entire month of February, you can nominate any person, place, or thing to do in a wide variety of categories.
Now, this round is write-in only. You can vote once a day in each category per valid email address. By the way, you can also buy tickets to the Best of Business Luncheon on our website, channel3000.com.
Still ahead at 5, why research on a new medicine for people who've had strokes is giving doctors hope.
And the U.S. and Iran are having indirect talks as the Trump administration beefs up its military presence in the region. What the president is threatening to do if Iran doesn't deplete its nuclear capabilities.
News 3 now at 5. Moving forward.
A new CBS News poll shows a minority of Americans think the U.S. economy is good. 34% of respondents said the economy is faring well. The survey also found respondents feel there is a wealth gap in our country, with a majority saying economic opportunities are increasing only for wealthy people. There are also concerns about employment, with 62% saying they believe artificial intelligence will decrease the number of jobs available. It comes as data shows layoffs in January surged 118% compared to the same month last year, and many of those job cuts are being attributed to AI.
Well, the U.S. is building up its military presence in the Middle East amid tensions over Iran's nuclear capabilities. The two countries are holding indirect talks today, trying to ease those tensions. The U.S. demanding Iran's regime have zero nuclear capability. For more than a month, the president has been threatening a strike on the country.
I would remind the Iranian regime that the president has many options at his disposal, aside from diplomacy, as the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military in the history of the world.
Now, earlier this week, the U.S. military shot down a drone officials claim was aggressively approaching a U.S. aircraft carrier.
In other health news, new data is out about a new drug that could help prevent some strokes, and it does not come with the side effects of traditional treatments. Part of the traditional post-stroke treatment includes blood thinning medicine to lower the risk of having another event. But those can raise concern about an increased risk of bleeding, and that's where a new class of drugs, 11A inhibitors, come in. The oral medication would be the first big change in treating stroke patients in decades.
It's a game changer in the care of acute stroke patients. And that's something that gives us hope that we can prevent stroke in a large population of patients and add on to existing therapies.
A national clinical trial of a drug in this new class found it reduces risk of recurrent stroke when added to standard therapies without increasing the risk of major bleeding. The medicine has received fast track designation by the FDA. Doctors hope to see the drug available this time next year.
Today is Wear Red Day. Every year, the American Heart Association asks people to wear red to bring awareness to the Go Red for Women movement. That's because cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer of women. Nearly 45% of women over the age of 20 are living with some form of the disease, and women are less likely than men to receive bystander CPR and less likely to survive an out-of-hospital sudden cardiac arrest. You can help in the fight against heart disease and stroke at wearredday.org. You can also find information about how to know your risk for cardiovascular disease and more information about heart attack and stroke symptoms there as well.
Breaking news just into the newsroom this afternoon. The Department of Health Resources has announced measles exposures in Milwaukee County. The DHS is investigating a case confirmed in an out-of-state traveler who went through Milwaukee Mitchell Airport to Walworth County. The case is being linked to a confirmed case in another state, and it comes as DHS detected a case in untreated wastewater in Walworth County. It also comes on the heels of a measles case confirmed in a UW-Madison student. We'll keep you updated on these measles cases online and over the air.
And we'll be right back. Blaze returns a final check of your weekend forecast in just a moment.
Coming up at 6, our Nash Dara stepped onto a frozen Lake Mendota today to bring us all of the events of this year's Wisconsin Winter Carnival. We'll have a preview of a weekend of fun in 30 minutes when News 3 Now returns.
And later on tonight at 10, Sarah Carlson introduces us to a local architect who is changing the landscape and the future in Lodi. That story more tonight at 10 as well. You're going down to the lakefront tomorrow, right?
I'm going to try, yes. I am going to kick myself in the butt by spring if I don't get out on the lakes, because it's just the thing to do when it's cold. And we were cold for so long, the ice is so thick, and tomorrow is going to be the perfect day, obviously with the Winter Carnival and everything else going on as well. After settling into the single digits tonight, we are back into the 20s tomorrow, and it will be cooler, but we are into the 30s for Super Bowl Sunday, 40s by Monday.
All right, Blaze, thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for watching at 5.